Do they feel the portal? You know, they share.
When we have music,
there are some of those members of the National Assembly that have issues, cases to answer.
Yeah.
I mean, there's one in Lokoja, there's one that's just been cleared out, Ovio Magege. So with this kind of issues, and there are some others within there that have cases to answer. Some of their cases have been on bail since 2007 and all of that. So,
yeah, when we miss it, is when we begin to talk about constituency projects. A lawmaker is supposed to go and make laws under Section 4 of the Constitution for the peace, order, and good governance of Nigeria. He is not supposed to be involved in physical projects, which is supposed to be a part of the executive.
Buying sewing machines.
Buying sewing machines.
Buying keke marwa.
Keke marwa, generators, and all. That is supposed to be provided by the executive. But because of the impoverished nature of the people, and the fact that there's a lot of ignorance, they do not understand that a lawmaker is supposed to just go and make law. When they are coming home, they ask them, what have you brought? Now law, we go chop. Senators in the US, some of them have been in the Senate for 30 years. They drive their old rickety car by themselves from one state to another. But in Nigeria, it is not just the lawmakers. You will see a minister coming in a convoy of about 20 vehicles, some of them armored. The ministers themselves, appointed by the president, have their own special advisors. The special advisors have their own special advisors. That special advisor has a special assistant. The special assistant has a personal assistant. The personal assistant has a driver. The driver even has a steward that services him. So you have one position in government having layers upon layers of accretions. Senator Shehu Sani has dared to tell us how much senators receive. Can we also now know? Can any minister now tell us? Can any governor now tell us how much they appropriate every year as security vote? Because security vote is an euphemism for corruption. It is not accounted for.
Yes.
At times it takes the largest chunk of the budget. How many ministers do we really know, apart from the say, oh, they pay them 1 million naira per month? How much of their expenses do we really know? How many cars do they maintain? How many houses do they maintain? So we are living in a situation of opaqueness, of lack of accountability and transparency. When we founded the Civil Liberties Organization on the 15th of October, 1987, we were only 6. My humble self, Ulisa Agbakoba, Clement Nwankwo, Abdul Oro, Richard Akinola, and Emmanuel Erakotobo. We were able to use, before my brothers CDHR joined 2 years later in 1989, we were able to use this platform to galvanize the people to rise up and defend their rights. By 1998, we decided to have an amalgam of these civil society organizations in the Joint Action Committee of Nigeria, JACON, which was headed by Chief Ganifa Oemi. I was the National Vice Chairman, Publicity and Publications. We were able to arouse the people. It was the final nail on the final nail on the coffin of the military that we used in driving away the military. But there was one mistake we made, and that's the mistake I continue to regret in my life till today. If you ask me, what is your only regret in life, I say it's one. That when we were fighting the military to drive them to the barracks, and we had actually won the war, not just the battles, but the war, it did not occur to us that we had won the war. We went on still fighting. We said we were not ready to engage the military in terms of democratization, in terms of running for public offices. So we went back. Those people, the Otokotos, the 419ers, the people who had run abroad on exile, The people were hiding behind their wives' backs. Those who were engaged in their normal businesses, legitimate and illegitimate, haven't pulled together a lot of money baggism, a lot of resources. They came from behind to come and hijack the spoils of office, of the war, of a battle, of a war they never participated in. So I continue to have that regret that had we known, some of us would have gone into politics to seize powers and then put life, nerve, and verve into the preachment, into the semantics, into the theories we had been advocating. But we lost that golden opportunity. But by the time some of us now wanted to come back, it was too late in the day. But one thing very quickly that I want to end this with. We continue to say they. Who are the they? It should be we. The senators, the ministers, the government is also our own. Martin Niemöller, in 1946, he watched the Jews when they were being gassed in chambers, in the gas chambers. They were killing them during the Second World War. After Hitler after the atomic bomb dropped in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And he made the following statement, because nobody seemed to care about the annihilation, about the vanquishment of a whole race. He said, first they came for the Catholics. I said nothing because I was not a Catholic. Then they came for the Protestants. I said nothing because I was not a Protestant. Then they came for the Jews. I said nothing because I was not a Jew. Then they came for the trade unionists. I said nothing because I was not a trade unionist. But by the time they came for me, it was too late. And there was no one left to speak for me.
All right, thank you, Mr. Zekome.
So that is why all of us must be involved in this national project.
In closing,
I think it's alarming that we're having this type of conversation in Nigeria at this time. And so those who are in charge of those critical organs need to realize that the time is ticking. That's one. Two, I'd like to say that our young people, we talk about the youth. Do you realize that there are quite a number of them who are more influential? You have thousands of people following you on Facebook, on Twitter, and what have you. What are you doing with those people that are following you? I think our young people need to recognize that if Nigeria doesn't stand, they also will not be able to achieve their dreams and their desires. And like you rightly said about civil society, every Nigerian must stand up now and begin to defend the Nigerian dream.
Thank you very much. So, Zekome, we're closing.
Yes.
You're representing a senator in the case. How transparent are you in your handling of that case?
Transparent? Oh, I do my job very professionally as a lawyer, without qualms. I defend people because Section 36 of the 1999 Constitution and the rules of the legal profession say I must defend them. We call it the cab rank rule. When you go to London, to Heathrow Airport, and you come out, it is the cab in front that you take. And the rules of professional conduct, and as held by Lord Denning in Rondell versus Worsley, is that you do not refuse to defend a person maybe because the society stigmatizes the person as a bad boy. Dino Melaye, by the way, is not a bad guy. He's one of the best senators we have ever had in this country. He has contributed most of the motions, most of the resolutions, most of the debates, most of the lawmaking.
Right.
Okay.
We have to go.
Malaki.
So if I have to defend anybody at all, I will defend him again, again, and again.
Okay. It was not charitable to eat into my own opportunity of last week.
Please, you're taking your time again. Just go ahead.
Now, I think part of the ways by which we can empower our people through our activities is to also understand that, having identified that we now practice a perverse civil rule and democracy, is to be able to apply ourselves in such a way as to truly empower those people. And part of the way to deal with it is to ensure that the contradictions within their ranks are not just played up. We must do it in such a way that it will operate in favor of the people. So if we see them, that they are there, we must do enough to ensure that we weaken them.
Okay.
And then
Now,
empower
that
them.
doing enough, we will continue that conversation of doing enough legally and professionally
break.
when we come back from this break.